transparency and we have our medical directors listed per facility and contact information available. I think that is something that, again, with third-party involvement could easily be solved, and that would not be a veterinarian that would be servicing your facility. And in fact, again, perhaps long-term would not be a fit for the platform. We certainly have zero tolerance policy for any sort of like egregious things. And so I think between the rating system, the transparency, and then just encouraging, again, our community of users to give feedback, we'll be able to build, that top tiered, 30%, right? Relief stable. Yeah. And I think the others will sort of weed themselves out along the way.
No, I think that's awesome. I'm super excited. And so if you are a veterinarian in Houston, right, or a veterinary hospital in Houston, you guys can, what's the website?
So you go to roo.vet, Roo as in kangaroo, ROO.VET. All
right. And how did you guys come up with the name Roo?
Our co-founders came up with the name Roo, and I haven't actually gone into much detail, but essentially that the kangaroo is willing to care for their Joey. And so I think in the sense of the Joey could be, the veterinary community, whether it be veterinarians or hospitals. I think that we're willing to take a stance on building a very positive, proactive, accountable, transparent community, cool. and interject that. And honestly, that's going to take all of us. Right? It's going to take participation from all of us. So I'm kind of excited.
Oh, your kitty's excited too.
Yeah. I was hoping to get through this without Gollum vocalizing, but Schvinks, as you know, are fairly vocal.
So, I like the name Gollum.
Yes, I have a Gollum and a Schmeagle.
Nice. We had a hedgehog named Gothmog once.
That is epic.
And a Gimli. We also had a Gimli.
Oh, that's so cool.
Well, Charlotte, thank you so much for joining me and sharing all of your information about Roo. And I really appreciate talking to you. I'm sorry I didn't get to see you, but it was nice to talk to you.
I know, thank you. Thanks so much for the opportunity on Vetsplaining. I was so excited. And yeah, if you ever want to chat, give me a call.
Yeah, sure. No, I'm excited to see how it goes because it's, you're in month 4, right? And
yeah, month 4, and we'll be headed to Dallas here soon, so I'll let you know when we're headed up your way.
Oh yeah, cool. All right.
Yeah, Dallas, right. And then East Coast, and so we'll branch out.
Yeah, well, I can definitely be your East Coast contact if you need.
Yes, I would love for you to be East Coast because I think Dallas will go fairly quickly.
Yeah.
And so I think it'll go Dallas, and then we'll head out your way. I'm hoping in time for cherry stone season.
Yeah. Oh, and this is just random, but the other thing you could also put on there is whether or not they would have to work with interns, because that always,
yes. Yeah.
Because when I didn't know and it was usually at an ER, and I was like, oh, because it just makes everything take longer. I mean, interns are great; they're the future of veterinary medicine. But you have to be in a certain mindset and know that everything will go 5 times slower.
Yes, at least 5 times. I agree, because I was usually the lead tech in charge of the interns. So it was always a really challenging experience because it's hard for me to watch my vets fall behind and the intern struggle and me be kind of in the middle.
Yeah, I learned a lot from my technicians. I am who I am because of them. So.
Oh, well, that's great. See, you're just that veterinarian. You're just an absolute unicorn, just a sparkly unicorn. I love it.
Nice. And don't forget, it's that time. We're going to hear our pet wells now. We're going to hear about Maggie and Pig, as well as the tale of Tosco and the tomato.
The kitten that you threw at me with the maggots coming out of her butthole.
You threw a kitten at you with maggots coming out of his butthole?
We had that client that had those 2 little tiny baby kittens in a shoebox, and I opened them up, and they were covered in maggots. She didn't know what to do, and so unfortunately the one didn't make it. But remember, you were like, well, if you want it, we can take care of it and sign it over, and we can foster it and do everything. So I took it home, and it's like 3 years later, And she's like the best cat in the whole wide world. And I named her Maggie because she was Maggie with the maggots coming out of her butthole. Yeah, so
Nice.
that's the best one I have. I mean, I have a million, but
Well, of course.
But yeah, Maggie's my kitten that she gave me. But I love more than anything in the world.
More than your guinea pig?
Oh, I mean, Pig. It's hard to say. Pig is like the coolest thing ever. He was a surrender from another vet clinic, and he had breathing issues, and I brought him home, and he's like literally my sixth cat. So, and he snuggles with me, and he gives me kisses, and he wheezes every time I open the refrigerator. Yeah, seriously. But yeah, I mean, I love them all.
Tell me a tale of Tosco.
I will tell you the Tosco tale, the Tosco tomato tale. How about that? Yeah. So we had a beautiful, enormous, like fitting two hands size heirloom tomato in the kitchen because we were going to make BLTs for dinner. So I said to my husband, I had somebody coming over to do something. I said, let's cook the bacon. And that way, when I'm done with my little meeting, we can just toast some bread, slice the tomatoes, slap the sandwiches together. It will all be good. So let it be. We cooked the bacon, went off and had my meeting. Neighbor left. I went to the kitchen. I said to my husband, where's the tomato? He said, what do you mean, where's the tomato? I said, where is the tomato? He said, I don't know, I didn't do anything with it. Well, somebody got up on the counter and ate the entire tomato. Well, the bacon wasn't anywhere he could reach it. So the tomato was as good as it got, and apparently it was so good he ate the whole thing because I never found so much as a seed.
Wow. I never met a dog who really liked tomatoes.
There's Tosco's tomato tail.
Do you eat all things that start with T?
He eats many things.
That's good. That's a good story.
Pasta water. He likes pasta water.
Oh, that's a good idea.
When we figured out that he was going to be a little bit of,
that one is big.
Food was going to be a point of interest is when we found him with his front feet up on the stove, like while we were eating dinner.
Yeah.
Drinking the pasta water.
That's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
Pasta water. I mean, it makes sense because it's just like starchy water, but.
Yeah.
I think that about wraps it up. As always, thank you for listening to this installment of Vetsplaining. I hope you enjoyed your time with me and ideally learned at least one new thing for the day. If you have any questions or suggestions for future topics, feel free to leave a comment below or email info@independenthillvet.com and put podcast topic or podcast comment in the subject line. Until next time.